Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to this week's Wisdom Wednesday. I'm Julia, and if we haven't met yet, I'm one of the new interns at the CSC for this school year. So today's reading from Paul's first letter of the Corinthians has really been sticking with me today, especially the last few lines. I encourage you to pray with the entire reading, but for now I'll share these few lines with you. What is Apollos, after all, and what is Paul? Ministers through whom you became believers, just as the Lord assigned each one. I planted, Apollos watered, but God caused the growth. Therefore, neither the one who plants nor the one who waters is anything, but only God who causes the growth. He who plants and he who waters are one, and each will receive wages in proportion to his labor. For we are God's co-workers. You are God's field, God's building. I love these last few lines because they remind us of two things that go hand in hand. One, we have to put in the work on earth to glorify God. And two, at the same time, God is the source of the fruit of all of our efforts. This reality calls to mind a prayer attributed to, but never actually spoken by, one of my favorite saints, Oscar Romero of El Salvador. The prayer goes like this. It helps now and then to step back and take a long view. The kingdom is not only beyond our efforts, it is even beyond our vision. We accomplish in our lifetime only a tiny fraction of the magnificent enterprise that is God's work. Nothing we do is complete, which is a way of saying that the kingdom always lies beyond us. No statement says all that could be said. No prayer fully expresses our faith. No confession brings perfection. No pastoral visit brings wholeness. No program accomplishes the church's mission. No set of goals and objectives includes everything. This is what we are about. We plant the seeds that will one day grow. We water seeds already planted, knowing that they hold future promise. We lay foundations that will need further development. We provide yeast that produces far beyond our capabilities. We cannot do everything, and there is a sense of liberation in realizing that. This enables us to do something and to do it very well. It may be incomplete, but it is a beginning, a step along the way, an opportunity for the Lord's grace to enter and do the rest. We may never see the end results, but that is the difference between the master builder and the worker. We are workers, not master builders, ministers, not messiahs. We are prophets of a future not our own. There's a tension there that I think that is really important to note. Yes, in the end, it is up to God. No, that does not let us off the hook for doing our part to work for justice and peace in our world. Sometimes I see all the different and intersecting injustices in the world: poverty, racism, oppression of women, the refugee crisis, and COVID's effect on all of these. And it's easy to get overwhelmed and feel hopeless. Like, there is so much pain in the world. How can we get rid of it all? But if we are people of faith who believe in the resurrection, we can't remain in that dark place of hopelessness. In these times, coming back to the words of the Romero prayer has really been grounding for me. By centering Christ, using my gifts, and doing what I can in each moment, I am God's co-worker, as Paul says. A minister, not a Messiah, as the Romero prayer says. And we must stay humble and trust God to fill in the gaps with abundance when we as humans inevitably fall short. This trust will sustain us through a lifelong journey of living a faith that does justice. If there's anything I know about this world, it's that its problems are too big for us to not trust God and risk becoming burned out. We don't plant seeds and do God's will and work for justice because we'll see results in our lifetime. We do it because it's what we're called to do as Christians. So I leave you on this Wednesday with some questions to reflect on. Where do you see a need or an injustice in the world? What are your God-given gifts? What can you do today with those gifts that you have and the time, energy, and resources that you have today to plant seeds to bring about a world that aligns with God's hope for justice and peace? Thanks for joining today, and have a wonderful rest of your week.